morning. Happy hump day. It is 7:30 on the dot, January 10th. We are 10 days in now to the new year 2024. How are those resolutions going? I think mine are going okay. I don't do really strict resolutions, but today we're checking in with a licensed counselor about the why and the how of these resolutions and how you can just really get results for your new year and have a positive 12 months here. But right now, we're recapping a rough day yesterday. Hope you got through that safely. Good morning. I'm Bridgett Ellison. Welcome to Breakfast with Bridgett. Meteorologist Candace Campos is still here. How you hanging, Candace? It was tense yesterday.
Well, I wasn't here when the rest of the weather team was here because I had to turn around and work the morning show. But my gosh, you know, our weather team, it's like a well-oiled machine, especially when we start talking about these warnings and just those real active weather alert days. We had Jonathan Keggis on YouTube and clickorlando.com and on the Pinpoint Weather app. Then you had Julie and Samara who were on air switching around, and then all of a sudden the warnings kept going. So Jonathan came off of YouTube and brought that viewership over to the TV side. It was just a
Mm-hmm.
well-oiled machine, and it really goes to show that we are trying to make sure that our viewers are informed
Yeah.
however they digest their news and their weather now, whether it is YouTube, whether it's on their tablets or their cell phones, or
And
just
what about
still
you?
on the
Like,
traditional
you
TV
know,
set.
we were both, in the midst of trying to get the kids out of school and all of that and still watching this. I mean, I don't know about you, but I was constantly like looking at the radar and then checking in on the
Mhm.
live stream and seeing, like what
Yes.
what they were talking about and it was always something there to keep an eye on.
Yeah, I mean, the information was constant. It was constant, along with them being constantly on TV. So a big shout out to the weather team. They did
Hmm,
just
for
a
sure.
phenomenal job. And I get the best job because I get to talk to you about all the nice stuff that will be coming in. And we can certainly turn our gears to that
Right.
just because here in Central Florida, although the weather was wicked, Bridget,
Right.
it was nothing compared to what
I know.
people were feeling like. This is locally, right, Bridget?
Yes. Now this one is Coco. We got in some rain from Marco. He sent in this weather video, and this is like what we talk about when we talk about pins, and we really appreciate this. I mean, obviously he's just like kind of safely there on his patio or porch, and here's another video from the Lanai. This is from West Orange County. That looks a lot like my Lanai yesterday, and
Mhm.
I brought in the Christmas lights. We talked about just trying to prepare. I texted a neighbor about some of their things that were in the yard just in case because we
Right.
just didn't know, but we were very fortunate considering what we're looking at in the panhandle this morning, Candace.
I know, it's just devastating.
Ugh.
Yesterday when we were talking about the preparations ahead of the storms for us, the Panhandle, Panama City Beach,
Mm.
confirming that they did have at least 4 tornadoes,
Wow.
and we were talking about the possibility of strong tornadoes. This is what strong tornadoes do. This looks like a hurricane came through the Panhandle, unfortunately. So many homes and businesses and schools, damaged or completely destroyed here along the Panhandle. And all of this happened within about 30 minutes. And that is just
Wow.
what's just so scary when you think about, look at that marina. I mean, the boats and
Right.
the structure itself collapsing. I mean,
It
that
looks
is
like a
metal. That's not
hurricane.
just yeah, exactly,
And that's why
exactly.
we
And
took it
I'm
so seriously, right? Because it doesn't have to be a hurricane. Like,
correct.
obviously, here, this devastation is just really just something to really take seriously.
And you would think that there would be so many more injured
Hmm.
or dead because of this, but it was the early warnings that is what told people to get under cover or prepare themselves for what was coming, because a lot of that was coming very early yesterday morning. So I'm going to say that we had a couple messages that yelled at us to get off the TV or
Hmm.
stop making this more than what it really is. And thankfully, we had the opportunity to get on our cell phones this morning in our homes with power and electricity and running water and be able to write those messages to us.
Hmm.
Um, but there will be the time, unfortunately, and we've seen it time and time again, where we are talking about these warnings and they do
Right.
verify into a tornado confirmed on the ground, or a straight line wind that caused a lot of damage.
Right.
So if you're lucky enough to wake up this morning and think, it wasn't that bad, well, good.
Yeah, we're
Then
thankful
take
for
it as
sure.
that, and let's move on to a pretty nice looking day.
Because at the end of the day, better safe than sorry. That's your
Right,
job. And it is a difference of just so many square miles and the wind. And we don't control
right.
that. We don't control that. All we can do is forecast what it looks like. And that was a major system that went across.
And if you were watching the coverage, I mean, a lot of these warnings, just an extra little spin up, an extra little hit of some friction on some land could have been a completely different story. So we're not the ones issuing the advisories either, right? So we're the ones delivering the information. That is what we're here
Mm-hmm.
to do.
Mm-hmm.
And thankfully, we didn't cross that line.
Right.
We had the criterias to fire up those severe and tornado warnings. But thankfully, it didn't clock up
Yeah.
to the confirmed tornado, the bright blinking purple polygons that we saw scattered all across the panhandle. So you know what? That's in the rearview mirror for us here in Central Florida. I'm gonna have to pick up some palm fronds, and you know what? I am
Yes.
happy to say that that's the worst of the weather. Then that
Yes.
was the worst of the weather for
Moving
for me.
forward in gratitude, right? Mm-hmm.
Let's go. Let's
Mm-hmm.
go. And what a beautiful day it is, Bridgett, across Central Florida right now. It's colder, certainly colder the moment you walk out the door. I don't have to remind viewers to grab their sweaters, because I can guarantee you walk out the door and you go, ooh, I need my sweater. And then as we head into your Friday, though, don't put the rain gear and the umbrella away too quickly. We are watching for another round of rain. That's going to be more late Thursday night and into your Friday. Temperatures out the door right now, Bridgett. Beautiful, chilly, 46 in the villages, same through Palm Coast. We're more in the mid to low 50s for areas along I-4 and south. Today's forecast staying in the mid 60s area wide, much cooler day. Yesterday, our highs were hitting 80 degrees. Today and tomorrow, we'll be staying in the 60s. Speaking of tomorrow morning will be even colder than today, as we're going to be waking up to the 40s area wide. It's always that second
Ooh.
night after a front that we will see the coldest air push in. So let's look at that clouds and rain forecast. Pleasantly cool, sunny, breezy. We had that big ridge of high pressure that will be overhead Thursday. Now, I do want to show you that we are watching some of that moisture that will be creeping in from the south, all kind of like a warm front on Thursday. That will be bringing a few scattered showers late in the day tomorrow. But then we're watching that cold front that will be sweeping through Friday afternoon. Showers, maybe an isolated thunderstorm, but the instability, the juiced up atmosphere won't be as present as it was yesterday ahead of that front. But once it clears, come Saturday morning, a nice stretch once again sets up. So you can see here, not only do we see a up and a down roller coaster with rain chances, those temperatures will be too. We'll be nearing 80 by Friday, dropping down another 15 to 20 degrees once again come Saturday, and then we'll start trickling back rain chances come Monday and Tuesday, with coverage right now at about 40%. So not a bad looking forecast, just not completely dry throughout the rest of the week.
Right, right, right. So just enjoy this drying out period
Yes.
for now, but
Yeah, and
we
I know
need
a
it.
lot of kids had, their after school activities canceled yesterday.
Yeah.
So if you're a parent who has something scheduled later on today, it's going to be a nice day. The kids aren't going to get sweaty or wet, or
So
it's not going to be a messy afternoon. It'll be really, really nice
you
out
know
there.
how we talked about the car line strategy, and
How did it go?
so I took your advice and I waited a little bit to go get in the
Okay.
car line, and then
Ooh,
I
yeah.
looked
So
like
you're
I
not
was like
sitting
one
there
of the
forever.
last ones though.
You
I
know,
was feeling I'm like,
you're a
sorry,
working
bye.
mom, okay? You've got things to do. You're multitasking.
They hey, everyone head them up, move them out yesterday. So
Did the kids mention that they were the last ones?
no, I mean they weren't the
Okay.
last ones, thank goodness. But
Mm.
there was just like a little huddle left.
Yeah, yeah,
It's like thank you
yeah.
so much. you know.
Thank you. Bye-bye. It's not
How about
aftercare.
you?
Don't charge me extra. Thank you. Bye-bye.
How about you?
I was actually early because I stayed a little later yesterday
Okay.
because of the severe weather. So I wasn't able to go home and take my little nap and all that
Oh
stuff.
yeah.
So I was able to but you know what? I grabbed a little snack, and then I watched a little TV,
Okay, good.
you know? We have that ability. So I watched a little
Oh,
TV, had a little lunch. It was almost like a picnic by myself.
nice,
Now that's
nice.
called self-care, Bridget.
And you got all that in before you got them.
And then you continue to work after when you pick up the kids, and
Of
then it's
course.
lunch and
Yes.
I
Yes.
mean, or dinner and all that fun stuff. But you know what? Good strategy. Will you do that
Yes.
again? Keep me posted.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I think I could have maybe 10 minutes sooner would have been better, but we'll see.
Okay.
You know,
Okay, we'll
it's
see.
always
All
a
right, deal.
strategy. That's what momming is. So,
That's what it
parenting.
is.
All right. Thanks, Candace.
Sure.
All right. So, we want to check the traffic with Trooper Steve because there was a big delay that popped up right at the end of the morning show. He's standing by in results one. Hi, Steve.
Hi, Bridget. How are you?
Good. How you doing? See, you got your jacket on now.
Not too bad. Yeah, now that I'm nice and warm and I got my seat heaters on, I've got
Okay.
the results one at 71 degrees
Mm-hmm.
because it is 49 outside according to the truck.
Are you
So,
cleaning up your
but you,
Portillos out of the car today?
I come on, Bridget. You
I
know me
just
better
knew I
than
had to
that.
tease you.
I don't leave a mess. I
Yeah,
don't
but
leave
you
a
said you got
mess.
the sandwich
Uh,
fully dipped, and then you said you ate it in the
it was
car.
Of course, because I had to do, so I did do a full food review, a little 3.5 minute review. I don't know if our webmaster Brenda is going to put it on the article or not,
Okay.
but I did eat in the car. You and I have talked about how
He went to the
peaceful
grand opening of
eating in the car.
Portillo's in Claremont yesterday, for reference, if someone
Yeah,
didn't
so
know. So
see,
that's,
Bridget, I talk about food. Bridget remembers she's still working right now.
and we're
I
just
get
hungry.
distracted. So yesterday was the big grand opening of Portillo's in Claremont. We've got a few other, and my executive producer Tara was like, "Hey, you want to go do a food thing?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm part of the morning team. Who doesn't want to do
Yeah.
food?"
Mm-hmm.
So went out there, checked it out. Mr. Portillo was there himself. I got to learn a little bit about the food spot, which was
Mm-hmm.
really cool. But at the end of the day, it's a food establishment. I would categorize it as a upper end fast food just because
Mm-hmm.
I got the Chicago dog, I got the Italian beef fully dipped in the gravy,
Mm-mm-mm.
and that was fire.
Oh yeah.
So
Did you get
good.
which peppers did you get?
Couldn't finish. I
Both.
did the sweet peppers.
Okay.
I just did the sweet peppers because the Chicago had a little spice, and I didn't want too much
Okay.
spice on
Okay.
both. And then I got a slice of that chocolate eclair cake.
Oh,
That that
I'll
does
put that
something
on
to
my
you.
list. Well, we got to get some
Please
traffic.
do. It's
So where can we get the full
yeah, I know.
review?
Okay.
Where can we get the full review?
Clickorlando.com on patrol yesterday.
Okay.
I'll make sure web team adds the food review at least to the bottom of the article.
Okay.
All right, so let's get to that traffic.
How's
We got some things
408?
going on
Yeah.
right now. Yeah, 408 is kind of a mess right now, but we're in the closing stages. A little hazy out there. What you're looking at on your screen right now is the westbound traffic. Westbound being delayed, meaning it is headed towards downtown from East Orange County. So from Waterford Lake, Cimarron, and they're headed towards downtown. You're down to one travel lane as you enter the city. 8 cars, from what I can see, are involved in this crash. You're one lane currently open. The problem is this delay here is intense. So you are currently backed up way past 436. So this is the map showing you where this crash is. 408 westbound right there at Mills. It is not shut down, but only one travel lane is open. And then just south of there within the city limits, you also have another crash at Summerlin and Briarcliff Drive. The drive time here is super delayed. You need to add about 20 minutes or just go ahead and slide up to State Road 50 if you want to. I-4 is behaving this morning from Eatonville all the way up towards Altamont or any other direction. Your drive time pretty good, 25 minutes from Osceola Parkway to Colonial. 22 coming from Lake Mary. That shows that, hey, holidays are over. We're starting to see those delays again, but no crashes out there just yet, so please be careful. Earlier this morning, man, we started the morning off with a pretty crash after I jinxed it. Southbound Turnpike at the 270. Traffic moving good, but look, 429 delayed through the construction zone as you approach that area. We did have a crash at Colonial and Town Square. That's been cleared out. Turnpike drive times, good this morning. No delays anywhere, even with that earlier crash. Taft, I talked about that crash. It's not going to bother you if you headed towards the airport. Things nice and smooth. Even Brevard County looking great. Now, this is the last crash I'll talk about. Up here, LPGA Boulevard at International Tennis Drive in Daytona Beach. Report of a vehicle crash there, possibly involving a government vehicle. Not sure, but mild delays along that area, making our drive times across Central Florida not bad this morning, Bridget. But
Hmm.
two major crashes really mess us up in some of those really hot spots, like I said earlier, 408, the Turnpike. When those things happen, you know, it bottlenecks everything down,
Yeah.
especially during this morning commute. But hopefully we clear these out and we can have a better morning. I'll be live at 8:30, displaying Florida move over law instead of
Okay.
talking about it as much as I do. So many people are like, well, what am I technically supposed to do? And I say, move over. But
When
I'm
in
going to go
doubt,
ahead and
move
just
over.
show you today. Yes, exactly. So today we'll use results one as a demonstrating tool, and we'll show it. And then we have a whole bunch of meetings here at News 6, so you and I will be very busy.
Oh, yes. I'll see you soon.
Yes, ma'am.
Thanks.
Talk to you soon.
Thanks. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back talking about the why and how and having a better perspective on New Year's resolutions with a licensed therapist up next. Right, welcome back. We're so happy to have Shantala Boss with us once again. Happy New Year. Thanks for joining us.
Happy New Year, Bridget. Thank you for having me.
You know, you touched base with me at the new year and we were talking about resolutions, but in a broader sense when it comes to from a therapy standpoint, which I think is interesting because, you know, we always think about fitness resolutions and just being more disciplined with, you know, diet or just different things that we want to accomplish in our lives, whether it be personal goals or things happening around us that we would like to improve upon. But it starts within.
It really does. Like we were talking earlier, and like you even said before the break, our why. What is our why? And sometimes I think we know what it is because we see everybody else and what their why is, and we think, well, that needs to be my why. And so we start comparing ourselves and we start thinking that's what I need to do. And the problem with that is we don't have our own internal sense of our purpose behind what we're doing. And the thing that drives behavior is truly purpose and connection. So we need to know what our real purpose is, what specific goals we want to meet. Not just, I want to go to the gym, but I want to gain this much muscle mass, or I want to just feel better in my body. I just want to feel happier in my body. I want to feel more confident. What is that very specific goal and why? Because when we know what that is, then we have more drive and we have that to look forward to. And then we don't beat ourselves up as much internally. That's the other problem with New Year's resolutions. We set all these lofty goals because we think that's what we're supposed to do. And then if we don't meet them, we start internalizing and feeling bad. And that sets us back even more so. So that's definitely a pitfall we want to stay away from.
And you know, you talked about taking a bite of the elephant at a time. So is it okay to have lofty goals or resolutions, or is it better to like adjust them and be realistic, or how would you describe that, you know, to someone you're working with?
Well, I think it's okay to have lofty goals, but I think it's setting those small steps to get there. You know, you might say, okay, by the end of the year, I want to be here, but by next month, I want to be able to do X, Y, and Z as part of my goal to get there. So being realistic with our expectations are of ourselves. And that doesn't mean we're limiting ourselves. That just means we're being realistic and we're setting very concrete and specific ways towards getting there. That's really how goals are made and success happens. Is and then also having accountability partners, other people that have the same kind of goals that we can connect with. They can kind of hold us accountable and that we can encourage, and they can encourage us. That makes a huge difference, because when we're doing all this in isolation, it can feel overwhelming, alienating, and we start to wonder, why am I even doing this, or why am I even trying, if we hit a setback. But then if we have a friend or a comrade who's doing something the same, we can kind of share ideas and help each other out, and that really makes it more meaningful and helpful as well.
And what do you tell people when it comes to New Year's resolutions versus, you know, a plan for the year, or, you know, quarterly plans or monthly plans? How do we break things down into steps to where we're, if something's not working out, we readjust, or like you said, be kind to yourself, but also, you know, finding a way to get to your goal with discipline in mind, and with kindness in mind to yourself.
Well, I don't really like the word even New Year's resolutions because I
Mm-hmm.
think it should always be in us to want to better ourselves. And I think that really is truly what everyone wants.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really thinking about what is my internal, desire to do whatever it is, and why do I want to do that. Like I said before, I think, I don't know if you've ever heard of the hedonic treadmill, but we get on this treadmill. What is this basically is, we the more we think we need or to do or try, with whatever success or whatever accomplishments we make in life, our happiness will rise and we will feel better. But eventually it will always go back to the same baseline level. Everyone has kind of a baseline level of happiness. So no matter what our goals are, and we meet those goals and we feel satisfaction, we will go back to our baseline, or we will drop if we fail those goals, but we will go back to our baseline. Like Rolling Stone says, I can't get no satisfaction. Why is that? You know what I mean? So we have to figure out, more than just what everyone else wants or what I think I should get. How internally will this make me a better person? Will this make me a better partner, a better mom, a better friend, a better boss, a better business person, a better employee? What internally does this do for me? Not someone else, or not what I think someone else wants or what I think I should want. And once we do a lot of that inner reflection, and that takes time,
Mm-hmm.
journaling, discussion. There's nothing wrong with New Year's resolutions, but I just think it's a bigger thing that we can really work on all year, and always reevaluating, of course, at the beginning of the year. Where am I? Where do I want to go? I think it's better to look at more of the broad picture of that.
And what about when it comes to positive change versus, maybe saying, I don't like the way something is going, or I don't, maybe I don't like where I live, or I don't like, a family situation, or maybe there's something that's not right at a job. How can you help people break that down into a plan or decisions to get to a place where they can be more satisfied or happy, like you said? Because sometimes you're thinking like, oh, when this happens, then I'll be happy, or when I get this, then I'll be happy. And like you said, it's not necessarily the case. So how do you weigh
Right.
that out?
Well, it's looking at the big picture. Like I said earlier, one thing that it's difficult to know how to move forward if we feel stuck in a job or relationship or situation, because we're looking at all of these factors. If we look at, okay, 10 years from now, if I keep doing what I've been doing, where will I be? Will I be where I want to be? And so maybe I don't make all the changes to where I want to be 10 years from now, but what can I do this year to make changes towards that? If I continue in the behavior I'm doing now for 10 years, will I ever reach my goal? So, kind of fast forwarding, that's kind of a therapeutic technique we can do to see, where do I really want to be in life. Is It's very overwhelming for people to think about changing a job or leaving a relationship or making a huge decision, because there's so many things involved. But what are some
Mm-hmm.
small steps I can take so I can get to where I want to be in the future?
Mm-hmm.
And kind of rewinding that, and also just looking at what's going well, what's going right, what's making me happy right now. Because with everything that makes us happy, there's going to be unhappiness in our life. Nobody will reach joy or happiness without some unhappiness. That's just life. So, not putting off joy, right? Not saying, I'll be happy when all of this is better and there's no bad weather, there's no stress, there's nothing going on, I'm just going to be happy then. We have to embrace things that are hard as well, and
Mm-hmm.
look at different perspectives and reframing it.
And a lot of that goes back to talking to someone. So, how can you encourage people to explore that way of sort of, self reflection, discovery, and strength in exploring therapy?
Well, with therapy or even with friends or people we trust, I think it's really important that we pick people that build us up, people that we can relate to, people that we feel heard and understood. Even with a therapist, it doesn't mean the therapist isn't good at what they do, but different personalities clash, different personalities connect, and that's okay. So, also not getting discouraged if your first visit with a therapist you feel that didn't go well. I must be bad at this.
Mm-hmm.
No, it takes time. And also, what if it's not a good fit? It can also be that the therapist is just not right for you. So sometimes we need to maybe do some digging, some looking and finding that right fit. And also with our friendships too, not disclosing stuff could hurt us or maybe bring us down with certain people, only talking to the people that will really are going to be in our corner and be our cheerleader, not those people that are having those comparisons or trying to keep up with or maybe belittle us or put us down. That slight little bit of
Yeah.
underlying feeling we get with certain relationships. We need to set boundaries with those things because
Mm-hmm.
those can really cause us to focus on things that are unimportant and that our goals are somewhere they shouldn't be, and then we fall into disrepair and what we really want in life, and that's when we lose our joy.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. This has been a great talk once again, Shantala, and we can find you online, right? And it's easy to
Boss
get in touch
wellness,
with you.
yes.
Boss Wellness. All right, Shantala. Well, take
Absolutely.
care. Great
You
words of
too.
wisdom, and we'll see you soon.
Sounds good. Bye, Bridget.
Bye. And that's going to do it for us this morning. We'll see you back here tomorrow at 7:30. Take care.